Hey, let's synthesize squad. Today I want to show you how to make a nice little Neuro-ish kind of bass sound in Serum, because it's a little hard to make very cool Neuro bass sound in Serum, but I tried my best to make it, so this is how it sounds. Pretty cool, huh? Now I had to use an EQ after that, but it is not very, it doesn't do too much. But I think we definitely need this EQ after that, so you can use basically any kind of DAW to EQ out these frequencies. So let me show you the preset itself, but let me sum up the workaround how to make a cool Neuro bass sound. And it doesn't matter really what kind of synth you are using. The thing what really matters is the chain itself. So I like to use a squarish kind of waveform. I like to filter it using a band pass filter or a low pass filter or a reverb filter or something. Then I like to distort it and add a few voices to it, like unison or chorus or something, then compress it or filter it again and EQ after that. And basically this is it. But this time I like to add a noise to it. So this is a paper bag. Let me show you what it does and how it sounds, or something like that. So this is only the noise oscillator. But I just added a pinch to it, and to be honest, without that it still works. But it's just too dry. Okay, let's turn back the filter. So, but with the noise, it doesn't add too much, but we definitely need that dirt, that crunch to it. So as you can see, this is all what I did here. I used this PVM LPF waveform or wavetable and added a simple saw to save the bass. Basically, this is the only purpose of oscillator B and a little noise. Now I want to go to a tunable, a tonal kind of sound. So I had to click on the key tracking in the noise oscillator. And I also used two LFOs to move the sound and make some movement to it. The first one is a simple triangle, only modulates the wavetable position, but the second LFO makes some huge work here basically. So it modulates the level of oscillator A and B, the filter cutoff, the drive, noise oscillator level, sub oscillator level, and lots of stuff here basically in a distortion filter, another filter cutoff, frequency. Yeah, so it makes a lot of work here to make the sound move. The filter one is an interesting thing because, when I first made the sound, I went to full mix and I felt that the sound itself turned into too dubsteppy, too growly. So this is how it sounded before. So this is a nice sound itself, but I just wanted to make it a little more Neuro-ish and not very dubsteppy. So I just pulled back the mix, but it is just a simple bandpass filter, 24 decibels bandpass filter, and I just modulated the cutoff and the drive, because that is an important thing. Again, we can distort our sound a little here too. So going to the FX section, I use a distortion, which is a very, very important thing here. Distortions always bring out some frequencies what we really want to make our sound evil and deep and very crunchy. And without that, our sound will be just, weak. And there is a ton of filter here, which is a pretty cool thing because I can filter our sound after the distortion. So without that, it turns into too harsh. I don't really like it, even if I pull back the EQ at the end. I don't know, it is too obvious that we are using a noise oscillator too, so I decided to filter out after the distortion. So the noise oscillator paper bag waveform is still there, but you cannot really tell what is happening because, it just glues together with the waveforms and the oscillators. So after that, a hyper and a dimension expander come in. And the purpose of the hyper end dimension is not to make the sound wider, but to add some voices to it, to make our sound not very digital, but more like an organic kind of tone. And the chorus has the same purpose too. But with too much mix, I just felt it turns into too noisy or too chaotic or too muddy, to be honest. So I just used around 20% and an OTT like always, and what I did here is pulled up the low band at 151. I think I pulled back the middle at 67, sorry, and the highs again to 138. There is nothing else here. I kept everything on default except the gain knob. Now after that I had a filter, and the most important thing here is funny, but that is the drive knob. I had to make some more crunch, more distortion on the sound, and the low pass and the notch filter, I think it doesn't give too much to it. The main thing here is the drive. Yeah, so we have another place to distort our sound, and this is the purpose of this filter basically, and of course an EQ to add more highs to it because I found it too dull. But there are some frequencies at around, well, 4000 Hertz, 3,500 Hertz that I wanted to just cut back a little. It is too painful for the ear and too paper distortion, too noisy basically. So I had to pull it back a little. And after that, this EQ, the main purpose is to cut back the very highs, and to be honest, lots of Neuro drum and bass producers does this because it is essential to cut all the very highs. It never sounds pretty good in the club, or basically if you listen to it on a hi-fi or a stereo or something, those very highs are very painful. So at around 10,000, 11,000 Hertz, you really want to cut them off. And also a few frequencies in the middle bass area and in the middle high area I had to pull back to make the sound more comfortable for the ear. So this is all, guys. It's a pretty heavy distorted kind of bass sound, Neuro-ish kind of bass sound, and also if you want to use it for dubstep, just push up the mix on the filter. Pretty cool. So I hope you enjoy this, and you can download this preset from the descriptions below, and see you next time, guys. Bye bye.